Hey friends, welcome to the Growth Marketing Weekly Call. I'm Shane Rice. I am the manager for inbound marketing, and I'm going to kick off our call with metrics this week. So let me share my screen with the document so you can see the numbers that I'm looking at as I talk about them. So we'll just go right there. All right. So this week we are 67.03% of the way through the quarter as of July 1st. So, I got to change that date. Missed that one. All right. And then, so pace so far this quarter, our goal for website traffic is to increase website traffic 20% year over year. Still on track here. So users up 23.33% year over year. That's from June 30th, 2019 to July 1st, 2020. And same for page views. We're up on that 22.01%. So looking forward to reporting on that next week. Anticipate that we'll be green there as well. MQLs on track. So there were some changes in reporting this week. Numbers went up across the board in every segment for May and June. So we are now at 84.1% attainment for large MQLs. Our pace there is 122.5. So that means that if we keep, attaining new large MQLs at the same pace through the rest of the quarter, so the end of July, we're going to attain 122% of our goal is what we're projecting now if this pace continues. And then mid-market is up over really close to our attainment goal, 94.3% there, and then same in SMB. So I'm not quite sure why the numbers changed so much in May. The May numbers jumped quite a bit, like, a couple hundred leads in each category at least at a minimum. So keeping an eye on this. I'm not sure if it's going to stay there, anticipating that it will. But just a little bit of a grain of salt as we look at that. And then, pipeline, there's still something odd going on with pipeline. We have, if you click through at the chart, you can see that there's a large number attributed to pipeline in July that is, I think, is a reporting problem in sales, not problem, but just reporting discrepancy, I guess, in Salesforce, where we're attributing a lot of deals to pipeline that are not realistic for this year. I think they're actually further out, 2 to 3 years out. So I think it's like add-on business or something like that. So we're working on solving for that. But overall metrics for our team, solid green, excited to report that. And with that, we'll go ahead and pass this off to Shane B for show and tell.
Thanks, Shane. Super exciting to see those metrics on track. And so now we'll kick off show and tell. So this is an opportunity for anybody on the team that would like to contribute to share something they completed this week that they're proud of. And it looks like first up is Rebecca.
Thanks, Shane. I just wanted to share some updates that we've made to the editorial handbook. I don't think there are loads of people on this call who would be the target audience for these changes, so I'll share them in the content channel on Slack as well. We've added some takeaways based on our analysis of traffic to blog posts in previous quarters, as well as making some suggestions for better approaches for the types of posts that tend to get pitched but aren't always successful with our audience. So this is part of our continuing efforts to kind of double down on the things that do resonate with the audience. And that was all from me. Sorry, yes. And we are also continually adding to a best practices section, which is more aimed at the rest of the team. That's why it's a blog handbook, not the editorial handbook, because hopefully everyone can learn from those guidelines there. So next is Danielle.
Context switching. Okay, my shout out is for, well, it's not a shout out. I'm bragging on behalf of Shane Rice, who is too humble to brag for himself. He did a root cause analysis. So the engineering team has a blameless root cause analysis process that they run sometimes when things go wrong. It's kind of like a retrospective, but we did have an issue in early June for 9.5 days. We didn't have leads flowing through from form collection to Marketo and Salesforce, which obviously you can imagine we started to notice when the SDRs were like, we don't have anyone to call. So Shane did a great job of pulling together a root cause analysis kind of on the non-engineering side in terms of our process. So you can click through if you want to read the doc in more detail. But I'll just use this opportunity to also point out this is a great process that you can use if things go wrong. That just allows you to dig in a little bit further into retrospective, but it's set up in such a way that it's really not about pointing fingers. It's more just like, okay, how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? So Shane did a great job running that process, and it's a great thing we can all learn from. Next up, who is VS? And I'm sorry, I don't know whose initials these are. Is this Vic?
It's Valerie.
Valerie. Oh, I'm sorry, Valerie. It's all you.
It's okay. I know. We're VS. Sorry. Just wanted to say that we're continuing to leverage the DevSecOps survey and ongoing coverage in the blog. Sorry, I'm on the phone, so I really don't have anything to share, but you all know what a blog post looks like. And we've also got a paid campaign going to get some leads from that. So again, just sort of doubling down on the time and energy and money we spent on the developer survey. We're still getting a lot of traction on that on the blog. And I think it's Monica.
Hey, I'm actually going to hold off on mine because it's a confidential issue. So I'm going to pass it over to Becky.
Yeah. Okay. So same thing with me. I'm not going to share this one. I'll just put it in the chat for anybody that wants to review it. This is not necessarily growth, but this is from previously on the awareness side. We have post-event brand survey results back. So this is kind of insightful into the way people think about our brand and the reach that it has. It's from London and Chicago. And just for background on how this was done, there was a pre-study done before all the campaigns for that happened in Q3 last year, and the money for media went into them, and then this is what happened after that. So I have both of those surveys, and I can provide them both to you so you can look at the difference in the numbers, but it's just a quick overview. And something that's really interesting, probably for the brand team especially, is there's a chart that says what we should focus on and what we should like what's a perceived value, but it's not actually that valuable. And I think that's something to me is very helpful, because there's a lot of things internally at GitLab that we think are important, but when you survey people outside, they may say something completely different. So yeah, check that out. And I will hand it over to, I think we're on to Shoutouts. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. Yep.
Okay, cool. Erica.
Cool. So we'll move on to the shout outs portion of our call. And just a reminder to everybody that this is a chance for you to express thanks and gratitude to the people who helped you out this week. So Becky, you have the first one.
Yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to Brandon, because he got a lot of things thrown at him for commit that weren't necessarily planned for. And there were a lot of things that needed creative solutions. So thank you very much for that. I'll hand that over to Stephen.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Becky. I just want to shout out to Jonathan and Jeremy. I know Jonathan's on the call. Hi, Jonathan. Jeremy's not, but just appreciate all their help on the front end development tasks. We have a pretty decent sized backlog, and they're starting to crank through some of those and do some good work, which is super helpful and nice. So thank you both. You can pass it on to Jeremy, I guess, but cool. Who's next? Erica, I'll send it over to you.
Cool. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Shane Rice for taking some time this week to meet with the editorial team. We kind of did a review of the metrics dashboard that we already have, and came up with some ideas of other things we might want to measure and some ways we might want to tweak that dashboard. And also put together a metrics deck for us to track over month. So really appreciative of all of your insight and taking the time to do that with us. And we'll pass it on to Danielle.
Awesome. I would like to thank Jensen in product growth for investigating this question we've had for a while around free.com user signups. So these are people who just sign up directly with the register call to action rather than the free trial button. Sounds like currently these don't go to Marketo, so this could be a big opportunity. We auto MQL trials, so ideally we would also auto MQL these signups. So this could be 5,000 to 10,000 additional MQLs per month, maybe even more on the inbound side. So a really great bucket of opportunity. Thanks for finding that. And I'll hand it off to Monica.
This is actually in regards to that confidential issue. It was a t-shirt design, so thank you to Vic who it's just always great collaborating with her, and she can turn whatever idea you have into something really beautifully illustrated. So thanks for her collaboration there. And off to Shane Rice.
Thanks, Monica. Yeah, so I want to shout out Dara and Jack Brennan. I just combined their names for some reason when I was starting that sentence. Jackson Sales Operations, they both took some time to help me pull together the go-to-market for the RCA for the go-to-market side of the house. So engineering had already done a RCA for the process on their side. And then they helped me work through what happened once that engineering process was complete and the time it took to update all the information for the leads in Salesforce and Marketo. So really appreciate them taking the time to help me pull that together and take notes and just move that process forward. So thanks, y'all. Anybody else? Nobody else is on the agenda right now. All right, I think we can stop recording.